and lace up my sneakers. I'm always dressed to kill.
Thank you very much for coming through, ladies and gentlemen. I think what's great about today is introducing you to a platform that is truly here to empower the voice, to empower the talent, and to empower the music. Living in a time where it seems easy to make music. You know, people drop songs almost every single Friday or any other day, but the problem is that the songs just do not reach the ears of the people that it can reach. And I think the great thing about today with SOLDistro is that these are the tools that's going to make it easier for the artists. The thing about such platforms, or when we do such launches, what always worries me is I don't see a whole lot of artists. A lot of artists don't come through for such, and I think they should be here. So to the managers in the room, a big round of applause to you for coming through. How many artists in the room today? If you're an artist, let me hear you. Oh, there we go. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, without wasting any more time, I think before we get into the formalities of the day, I'll tell you all the hashtags and where to follow us. I think let's start our maybe with prayer. Please put your hands together as I call up on stage a legend, the one and only Pastor Kabelo Mabalane.
Good evening, everybody. Tonight I'm here in my capacity as somebody who's walking a pastoral journey with Slik. Sia has been undergoing a lot of change, and I'm sure some of you have witnessed it, a lot of positive change, and I think it's the beginning of great things to come. It's one of my privileges to have a front row seat to see him become the man that God has created him to be. So tonight he's just asked me to just open the evening with prayer. And I think before I pray, I think it's just also important to mention all of us as artists. Phela nintwana zam nonke. Ithi ngintshele, ithi nginibekele nje kancane. You know, I've obviously done this thing, right? And I've learned that it's important for us to understand that we are three-part beings. We have a soul. Well, let me start correctly. We are first spirit. We are spirit. We have a soul. We live in a body. Let me say that again. We are a spirit. We are first imimoya. We are spirit. We have a soul, which is your mind, made up of your will, your intellect, and your emotions, and you live in a body. This body that you see is not Kabelo, it's my earth suit. What am I trying to say? Every single day we feed our bodies, right? You clothe your bodies, you feed your body, right? To be sitting in this room, you have to be somewhat smart. You fed your soul, you fed your mind, right? You've worked on your mental health. You've invested in your education with regards to PR, producing, songwriting, and all of those things, right? So that's two faculties. The bodies are taken care of every single day, right? And the soul has been taken care of. That's why you're in the room. But there's one part of us that gets neglected. And all of you are smart. You understand that if you are made up of three parts and you are only taking care of two, you're not taking care of yourself holistically, right? And if you need to fire on all cylinders, you need to take care of yourself holistically. Feed your bodies, feed your mind, but don't forget the spirit. Don't forget the spirit. Okay. Let's just close our eyes and bow our heads. Father, we just thank you for today. Lord, we thank you for every day that's new. Thank you that this is the day that you have made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. Lord, we just thank you for your mercy. We thank you for your grace. We thank you for your love. Thank you for using even today to reveal yourself to your sons and your daughters in ways that you've never revealed yourselves to them like. Father, I just pray that you go ahead of this evening, make the crooked places straight. I just speak your favor over this new initiative. I just thank you, Lord, for wisdom for everybody concerned, the team, Sia himself, everybody concerned. I just pray that you give them the wisdom. I speak your supernatural favor. Thank you for sending destiny helpers alongside them to make this work. And may this work, Lord, bless people in this room and across the nations, opening doors and just making things a little bit easier in this very challenging industry that we're a part of. I'd also just like to speak a blessing over every single person in this room. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you. May the Lord open doors for you that you've been trusting him to open. And may the Lord grant you his shalom peace. Ka lebitso le matla la Morena Jesu. And everybody said, amen. Thank you. Have a good time. And yeah, just give Slick and the team a round of applause for this initiative. And Slick has always been an innovator. And it's just such a privilege to see him continuing to innovate. Over to you, sir.
The Gun Angels, you know what I mean? That's the mothers that prayed for us in the hood when we young, as children. That's the brothers that literally like are thugs and they like always like, yo, you don't be like us. Them Gun Angels, you know, they kind of protect you and your life just becomes something that's unbelievable over time.
I saw you treat the elders with kindness, but if someone misstepped, I also saw you get mindless. Guns and knives, hardly fist fighters, and the last thing plain was be righteous. We try to replicate you and you would deny this. You'd say you see more, that there was a light in us, something that we couldn't see inside of us. We only saw an environment that was devouring us. The irony of a thug empowering us. He said he can't reverse his misfortune and karma, but he'd be the first to caution our mamas if we got caught up in the streets with all this drama. The paradox of a feared brother who revered mothers, protects and covers through his blunders. God gives angels that work wonders. The system said thug, we said big brothers. Gun angels, ever heard of ghetto? I know you have a gun angel. I mean, I'm alive today and I'm so grateful. The gun angels, some of them are gone, some of them in prison, but it's those protectors, man, that everyone fears, but they just see something special in you, you know what I mean? Gun angels. You said focus on the music, be attentive. I wonder if you see me in heaven. Am I shining the torch like you would have expected? Do you know that I'll make this rap respected? Create jobs and be a business lieutenant. 20 years in, ain't stopped the refreshments. In corporate and media, your boy scope is stretching. You thugs have foresight, but I ain't pretending. No money in hoods, goodwill is an investment. So for all the hood players, I'm forever indebted. Dead or alive, of the brothers arrested. Survivors guilt sometimes kept me pressured. So I do this for those that the system neglected. May our next steps carry all of your blessings, cause you believed in us before they paid attention. And through our success, we resurrect them. Let's go. God angels, oh my gosh, I'm in tears. Yeah, I don't get your credit. They call you thugs, they call you ruffians and yo. It's like God like kinda chooses these guys who become like these angels. They become like your gods to protect the light in the hood, cause the hood is just so unfair to a lot of us. So these hard guys are just hard across the board, but while they're hard, they like our security guards, so we could be safe and grow, and they guide us, cause they made the mistakes and they don't want us to do the same thing. You know what I mean? Gun angels. Y'all don't be talked about, y'all don't get credit. Musiala. Somewhere. We're grateful though. I saw you treat the elders with kindness, but if someone misstep, I also saw you get mindless. Guns and knives, hardly fist fighters, and the last thing you claimed was being righteous. We tried to replicate you, and you would deny us. You said you see more, that there was a light in us. Something that we couldn't see inside of us. We only saw an environment that was devouring us. The irony of a thug empowering us. He said he can't divorce his misfortune and karma, but he'll be the first to caution our mamas if we got caught up in the streets with all its dramas. The paradox of a feared brother who revered mothers, protects and covers through his blunders. God gives angels that work wonders. The world said thug, we said big brother. He said focus on the music, be attentive. I wonder if you see me in heaven. Am I shining the torch like you would have expected? Did you know that I'll make this rap thing respected? Create jobs and be a business lieutenant. 20 years in, ain't stopped for refreshment. In corporate and media, your boy scope is stretching. Do thugs have foresight? Well, I'm a testament. No money in hoods, goodwill is an investment. So for all the hood prayers, I'm forever indebted. Dead or alive, or the brothers arrested. Survivor's guilt sometimes gets me pressured. So I do this for all those the system neglected. May our next steps carry all of your blessings. 'Cause you preempted this before the world saw it. And through our success, that's how you stay resurrected. So I do this for all those the system neglected. May our next steps carry all of your blessings. 'Cause you preempted us before the world connected. And through our success, that's how you resurrected. You know, it's 20 years. It's 20 plus years I've been here. And it's through the blessings, through the prayers, through the subtle things that people have been doing to just say, Chigaso, Aisan, you know. And until you realize sometimes in your life that you never made yourself to get here. There have been angels that have just been, God has been placing in your journey. You guys just saw the video for Gone Angels. That video features people from the neighborhood I grew up in. I want to firstly acknowledge them. If they're in the house tonight, you know, please guys feel free to stand up. If you're in the house tonight, you know. What up? Thanks for playing me over there. You know, the favor. These kids are walking the streets, the courts that I was walking. They're probably going through worse things that we could ever be going through. And there's just one key person that really helped me put this together. And he's my peer because we grew up in the same hood. You know, God's favor is so incredible that there's a guy in this room who helped me put this together. And his name is Champ. I just want to acknowledge Champ, you know. He helped put everything together. When I look at Champ's life and what he's doing in the basketball court, and I see how God has restored him and just like given him the favor to help these kids. Because we were also those kids that someone came and coached us. When I see Champ doing that and I say, look at that favor. I look at what I was doing and what I'm doing in music and I'm saying, and I feel so small with regards to what Champ is doing for the kids in the hood with nothing but just his passion for the sports. So I want to shout out Champ today for everything that you're doing. Favor is an incredible thing. Favor is when you're able to give back. So I just wanted to start that and just personalize it with things that really matter because all I have been doing all my life is music. You know what I mean? That's all I know. So, and Champ, he's a soccer guy, he's a basketball coach, but he never stood up. Where's Champ? That's Champ over there. Now already when you see Champ, you know, when you see Champ and you're like, yo, your champ was gonna scare you when you see him already, because he'd be like, he really got. But no, man, what he's doing is just incredible. I think me and you have this favor of giving back. I just want you to know you're doing your work so important in the community. It's just that favor, giving back. Then I also want to acknowledge like our partners. I went and knocked on different doors to get partnerships, but you know, the irony about this partnership is that I had to go back home. There's a company called Asante. It's a glass company. The week that I was looking for people to sponsor this event, they were calling me, and I was looking at the call like, just give me a break. And they explained everything. And then I went there and I said, okay, I'll do this because it's for the kids, but I'm doing something else. And out of every brand that I kind of try to get in as a partner, Asante, a company in my hood where I started rapping. They're a big company. You might not know them because they're competitors like me. You might know their competitor, but they make all these jam bottles. You are drinking their bottles and you don't even know in some instances. Whether it's a beverage, a soft one or a hard one or a strong one or whichever one, you are literally holding their product. It's so crazy that I had to go back home to get money for this thing that I want to do. And it's so crazy that this rap thing started at home and it literally helped me to get here. And it's so crazy. Today I'm building something that I believe is the next thing to help artists. And it's home that basically like funded it. So shout out to Asante. Appreciate you guys for helping us out. And then I'm going to shout out my team that's been working, putting this together. You know I'm the nicest person on earth. Yeah, shout out to you guys for tolerating and dealing with me. I want to shout out Sipo out there. He's been the leader of this company called SOLDistro for the past few years when we started it. We acknowledge Sipo because for all his work, because he's got it ready for me to get involved, right? So let's talk about this though. Why we here? It's personal. It's politics, it's influence, it's healing, it's pride. It's asking, who will save us if we don't save ourselves? It makes families, it breaks families, it's passion over crumbs. It's breadwinners, it's global compliance, it's local struggle. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what music does. It's asking, who will save us if we don't save ourselves? Because it's really coming from inside of us. It makes families, it breaks families. It's passion over crumbs. There's only 2% of artists that really make money just off music. It's passion over crumbs. You dig? It's breadwinners. It's global compliance. It's local struggle. Ladies and gentlemen, this is music. And tonight, we want to make music safe. Because for too long, music hasn't been safe. Not for families, not for business, and not even for musicians themselves. To make it safe, we must create our own rules. And rules only come with one thing, with ownership. Tonight is not about launching another music service. Tonight is day one of owning our systems, our data, our automation, our content, and using that ownership to write our rules. Here's the truth. The way fans engage with artists, the way brands engage with music, it's shaped by global systems we don't own. I mean, we only created piano, kwaito, motswako, Afropop, Afro house. Yet, we're still not good enough to make the rules. But I want you to imagine a different world today. Imagine a world where we build the systems. We gather the musicians and the audiences like a SOLStokvel for fans. So, because we are doing this, our fans are the SOLStokvel. You understand? Our fans are SOLStokvel. Because if we owned it, that's what we'd call them. SOLStokvel, yabo. It's SOLStokvel, do you dig? But you don't own it. It's a stream count, askis. We partner with brands and negotiate on terms that we agree to. And I'm saying us and the brands agree to. Because it's not always us negotiating with the brands. True? We negotiate music licenses that serve us. Our families can access our revenue when we're gone. Imagine this world. Together we invest in industries beyond music, owning more of the economy. Can I just say, if you literally, even the artists that are not like the best performing artists, if you put together some of the artists that are actually putting together some of the streams,
We are the guys that make most passive income as black people in a community that probably most times you don't even use. And that means that, you know what people do with passive income? They invested in companies that scaled in the world. This is why they keep on telling you music is not important. Because if you guys could understand the power of it, then you start seeing what collective means, right? So that's the vision that I have. Imagine that. But I don't want to talk vision and I don't want to complain without giving you guys a reality. This is our reality today. We spent 6 years building a digital music system. We've been to London, Germany, Amsterdam. We've been misled, misunderstood. We've literally listened to people's accents in different countries. And we're like, why are these guys making us angry? We've gone everywhere to get to this point. I mean, Sipo, Lerato, we've literally been on the road, right? But today we own a system that, let me just say, we own the direction of the system because we're not there fully. So we literally own the direction of the system that allowed us to create control. We, today, where we are, remember I said imagine this wealth. So I'm giving you a status of where we are. Today we've got music that's been engaged over 500 million times. This music can be used as inventory. Now, what we've done, if you think of like music distribution as in the way of the Western, you'll think of it like the way of the Western. But if you think of it like a SOLStokvel, that means a couple of artists, we've come together and together we've literally gotten our content to be engaged over 500 million times. Okay, what does that mean? That means we can now use this content as inventory. Inventory, it means that we could use this content as ad space with our rules, but we cannot do it individually because when we do it individually, there's a bigger company called, you know that company. But when we do it together, we literally just decommission their advertising and we say, hey, brand X, speak with us directly. You can't do that without a SOLStokvel, you know? So you call it music distribution, I call it SOLStokvel. And with our catalog, why should brands go overseas for music when we have the sound and we have the talent? Now, I've told you that our music has been engaged over 500 million times, but we got close to 1,200 songs. There are ad agencies that are sitting there saying, let's get library music that sounds like a bit like Afro, that sounds like a bit like this. But we got the library. If you don't have the control, how are you going to empower the community? So essentially, we got 1,200 songs that are ready for ads and syncs that literally we can negotiate. And you can negotiate with us because I'm sure the artists would be able and open to hear your offer. Because currently when you are talking about music, what are they telling you? They're telling you that it's this, it's this, it's this. And the artist doesn't even know. That artist doesn't even have a cent. And they've shut down the usage of his music because the artist doesn't make the rules. And here's the safety part. And I really say this from a very personal place where I've got a friend of mine who's passed away and, you know, his music has been released on streaming platforms. It is also as the world changed. But I can't even tell my friend's family who they should speak to go get his royalties. I mean, I don't know myself who they need to speak to because we're not in control. But immediately when you're in control, we now have a system where you just put it in your hand and you whisper. If you don't have a will, tell somebody. Maybe do get a will. Tell somebody the password to my music distribution platform is 1234. If something happens to you, anyone in your family can get this money every month. And because I never got the permission to ask this today with everything I've been doing, but I won't name a name, but I'm part of a trust of one of the artists that passed away. You know, that artist till this day is making money off royalties because we literally built a trust for his daughter. I mean, by the time the daughter's done, the money is probably going to be hitting millions. No, a million, you know. Let me not exaggerate. But all I'm just saying, that's money that's sitting for an artist that's passed away. And if we never did that, that money was going to end up anywhere else. It was going to end up in what they claim there's a word for it for money that's not claimed. It was going to end up there. How many families are talking about their kids who used to, and they were, but they don't have anything to show. It's happening. As much as I say there's 2% of artists that live off money, but there's a lot of money in music that artists get over time gradually, you know? And on top of that, I must say royalties are passive income. And if we pull them together, we can invest in businesses and really build generational wealth. But we cannot do that if all the time we're giving our content, and we give it our content where people's mandate is to only get it out to a distribution platform. My mandate is not to get your music on a distribution platform. My mandate is, how are we uplifting ourselves? How are we coming together? So we think beyond music because we want more for ourselves, and we hope that you also want more for yourself too. You know, Sabby said we always throw down the ladder downstairs. It's saying, so is a DJ. We throw down the ladder, we take down the elevator. That's it, we take down the elevator. But the problem with many artists, they want you to go down the elevator and literally like pull them into the elevator and press the button. No, we take down the elevator so you can go find button number 1, floor 5, floor 3. You understand? Independence is having a vision for yourself, but true independence is having a collective vision that has an impact in the community. That's majorly independent. We're fighting against being the old people who stuck in their ways because they think they've done it all, and the young people who've earmarked their success based on how the older generation does their things. When the old people simply plateau to limits of the systems that they don't own, and the young people only reach the illusion of new heights from a system that has a new plateau, they're yet to discover that they also don't own it. I'm telling you now, there's nothing that has changed. The systems keep on shifting in the same hands. Whether you are saying that you are in a vinyl, the same company that literally was selling vinyls is got some equity in some kind of digital thing. It keeps moving to the same hands. And then we keep on saying, well, why are the problems never changing? Because, it's the same hands, The one thing I want to close with is that music brings people together, but we need to decide what to do with that togetherness. If you've ever asked yourself what's wrong with music, with the music industry, the problem isn't just the fact that we want to own the masters. The problem is that we don't want to own the master plan. And tonight with SOLDistro, we want to own that. So let's join us and let's be great in every aspect as we proceed. I closed my speech another way when I was rehearsing, but the team said I mustn't say it like that. But I thank you nonetheless.
SOLDistro.
My name is Touchline, the naked truth, known as the Tim Visa. And of course, the first ever song I dropped with SOLDistro was my biggest single, I'll Always Have Me, personal to me. And then subsequently, my first gold plaque.
Hi, I'm Fentse and I'm an alternative R&B artist with none other than SOLDistro. Ever since I've been with SOLDistro, with the first project that I released with them, I got my first Spotify auditorial playlist cover, and that was a big moment for me.
Later, Kabelo Mabalane, DJ, producer, ngenza amapiano. Yabona-ke iplek lami lokuqala ngalithola la ekhaya kwa-SOLDistro. Sikhuluma into ey'khala kahle. Awusu.
Explain, bafethu, this is your one and only music Mbuzi, bafethu. The only quote that matters, bafethu. The only man, bafethu. Without SOLDistro, bafethu, then end of my first ever project called Sizwa Ngawe.
It's your girl Biscuit, and I am a female rapper. I got playlisted for the first time with SOLDistro.
What to do with your boy 6x9, the self-made cheese boy in front of Mpumalanga, Hawema. I got paid royalties for the first time here at SOLDistro.
Yo, this right here, Bandunuts. Okay, singling Dile. Yo, SOLDistro is like a close friend to my music.
I'm the Lord of all of and all over Bangasgash. I've been all over Zingah. From the majors to the indie, we lane switching, doing big business. SOLDistro.
Yo, what's up, good people? This is Convey, Soweto's very own voice. SOLDistro studio sessions have really given me a voice and a platform to express myself and represent my hood.
Hey, what's up? My name is Faye Music and I'm a singer-songwriter, eclectic by design. My SOLDistro experience has been fire. It really feels like home, and I definitely think the highlights has been the opportunities to work with brands on screen and off screen.
Except for the music, it's your boy Big Star Johnson. Big Steezy, Flow Greasy, come eat me. And I'm a rapper representing SOLDistro. I was struggling with linking my two profiles, and they linked that for me. I had Big Star Johnson, and they did it without me even asking, and that felt like family.
Hey yo, it's your boy Luna Florentino, aka the Fresh Prince of Rustenburg. I have an accreditation of 3 stars in the kitchen, certified by myself, but I'm not a chef. So I've been independent for a while, right? And I've been using different aggregators, but for the longest, it's just been upload and go situations. With SOLDistro, I was able to find a team that's fighting for me on the other end, you know, through things like rollouts, and we had a listening session last year as well. So they're a lot more involved in the process. You know, when we were putting out the pre-order, we were able to pick up on what was going on in the streets, and we said, okay, let's put out another single. You can't do that if you don't have access to your team. SOLDistro is the first distribution company that offers you major label services through a subscription. What they're giving you is PR, playlisting, studio, and visual services. You can get all that and still keep 100% of your masters. Now that's majorly independent.
Coming from a dance background and growing into different genres, I really love the fact that SOLDistro embraces all different genres.
SOLDistro makes sure that your music is distributed worldwide on over 33 music platforms.
What I love about SOLDistro is that you get support assistance within 72 hours of your inquiry.
So the dope thing about the SOLDistro dashboard is that it lets you see robust analytics, which help you guide your growth, you know? You ain't gotta be calling people, it's right there on your phone. Check it out.
See all your social followers on the dashboard.
Get your royalties deposited into any South African bank account in less than 48 hours, baby.
Great part is, SOLDistro is the only distro that allows you to book studio and visual services.
Yo, SOLDistro is the only place where you can get industry advice.
Share your new releases on the SOLDistro dashboard feed.
Bentala shayi ipopukela. Mamelani, shayi pianos, ali pianos, phusis piano.
Bucabanga ukuthi nguphi? Ku record label noma SOLDistro? Ku record label? Hayi. SOLDistro. Woza nawe sokudistribute.
So, be a part of something with someone that started in a bedroom studio just like you. I get it. So let's get it. SOLDistro, majorly independent.
Hi guys, my name is Teejay Mokoena, and I'm the new head of distribution. So I'm just gonna get into SOLDistro. I want to tell you guys about the functionalities and everything that comes with SOLDistro. This thing that Sia's been talking about, majorly independence. Like that's how we're moving from now on. So just to start off, right, we have this thing, or it's called subscribers, right? Subscription plans. We have different subscription plans depending on the person and their career, right? So if you can see on the screen, we've got like the bronze package, which costs $1.25. Very competitive prices. Trust me now, you won't get these prices anywhere else, right? And with this $1.25, we're not limiting you and saying, yo, you can't distribute to this country or you can't distribute to this platform. What we're saying is that whether you're paying for a $1.25 distribution package or you're paying for a $12 package, you are still going to get the same same services, you'll still be able to distribute your music worldwide, because our main thing is that we want to make sure that the music goes from us into the consumer. That's our biggest thing, right? So we want to make sure that people are able to access the music as much as possible. So with fan-based analytics, we've made sure that we've consolidated all the information. As you can see, you've got your Spotify followers, you've got your YouTube subscribers, you've got your Twitter, you've got your Deezer. So you've got all these platforms consolidated. So if a brand comes running, you can say, hey, come see my dashboard. These are the amount of followers I have. And it also helps because you're able to measure your growth, because there's like a percentage right here. It's green or red, depending on like whether you're going up or down, which tells you like this is the growth that you've had in the past 28 days. So it helps you measure how you're growing. It helps you measure your career. It helps you measure your fan base, because that's our biggest thing. It's the master plan. So if you're owning the master plan, then you need to know how you're going to execute the master plan, right? And then we've got the feed. So with the feed, it's like social media. Everyone sees the feed. So if you've got a subscription and you've got a subscription, you guys are going to see each other's posts on the feed. So what we basically doing, we want interaction to happen away from consumers and also with the artists. So we're basically creating an ecosystem for artists and for consumers and fans to be able to interact with each other, to be able to find each other, because we don't want the gap. Because you might send someone a DM on and they won't see it. They're gonna miss it because, you know, you're a bigger artist, they're a smaller artist. So we want to make sure that everyone gets a fair chance so that they're able to see the music and they're able to see you. The wallets. So the wallet basically allows you to get paid as soon as possible. We're moving from a system where you need to invoice. And you know, invoicing, not to take a jab, but sometimes they might say we won't pay after 60 days or 30 days. So what we're doing right now is that we're trying to make sure you get your royalties as soon as possible. If it's a weekend, I'm sorry you're not getting your royalties, because that's how the banks work, right? If it's a holiday, I'm sorry you're not getting your royalties. But if it's today, you're waking up tomorrow, we go to whichever clubs you guys like to go to, right? So that's what we're trying to do. We want to create accessibility and make it easy for the artists. The artist should not be calling to say, yo, where's my royalties? They should be able to see everything and be able to click a button that takes the royalties straight into the account. And that's what we really want to do. We want to make sure that the artist has the best accessibility as possible. We've got the streaming platforms. And I see a lot of rappers, I see a lot of musicians in the room, right? The one thing that a lot of people fail to understand is that Apple Music, Spotify, Deezer, Tidal, YouTube, those are great platforms to use, but they are not the only platforms to use, because you get a platform like KKBox, which dominates in Asia. They might not have Apple Music, so you thinking that your music is on Apple Music, so you're safe. So you need to go and tap into these different territories and different platforms and find out what makes these platforms tick. Then you're gonna say, okay, cool, I'm gonna drop on Wednesday on Apple Music. That means everything's gonna go up. But you're neglecting all these other streaming platforms. So basically, we want to teach artists and make sure that even you guys as the consumers know that these are not the only option. So you see, like, you've got KKBox. I don't think you guys know Licked, but Licked is a UGC platform. It's like TikTok, but it's TikTok for like a different area. And then you've got like YouTube Content ID, you've got YouTube Music. There's all these different avenues, like people that are not making their money from. So it's like, yo, let's make sure that we know all these platforms, let's know where they're from, and let's try and make as much impact in those territories so that we can make the money back. SOLDistro, majorly independent, 2025. This is the launch. Thank you guys for coming. My name is Teejay Mokoena. Sorry. Thank you guys for the reception. I can see that Sia paid the actors.
I think the other thing that, just to add on what TJ is saying, right now when you go to www.soldistro.co.za, we've just opened it up. You'll be able to see the platform where you're now able to buy the services. So we are giving artists the tools so they're able to do multiple things. So you could literally like get a studio bundle, a video bundle. Let me explain the studio bundle. It's like a bundle where you're able to book a studio. You're able to book a proper studio where there's an engineer who will master your music or do whatever you need to do there. And then also you're also able to book video services. So you've got a team. You can send a little mail and say, this is what I'd want to do with the video, blah, blah, blah. Not only is it our internal team that will look at you, based on your brief, because our form literally
allows you to brief us on what you're looking to do, right? You're also able to get like PR services. PR services, basically, you can also say how far you want to go with those PR services that you're looking for, right? But the thing is that we get a lot of requests. I mean, I literally got a thread this morning. We get so many requests from people who want their music on the platform. So we just figured that, not only do we want to help you get your music on our platform, but today, we've got like my friends who run their own blogs, 980 team, this SA Hip Hop Mag, OK Mzansi. So we got my friend Andile. He's actually one of the founders of Skipper, and he went his own path, and he's got his platform called the Journalistic DJ. So what we're saying is that artists are now able to buy placement on those platforms, not only on SlikourOnLife. The whole idea is, how are we all coming? You see, we bring the artists together, we bring the platforms together. This is an additional service that we put out also to the brands that we actually speak to. So it's not a thing that we're trying to sell to artists just generally, but this is something that we also literally selling to brands. When you look at it also, we've also got the multi-channel network, where I talked about it in my speech. It's called the multi-channel network. There's nothing new. It's an American thing. It's just that we're the only guys who've actually taken action and used it. Multi-channel network is if you've got a lot of creators who contractually working with you and you help them monetize. So by default, that's what SOLDistro does. So that means that we are able to look for opportunities where brands can actually buy the space, so the artists can either monetize, partner, or reach more people through that. So we built a system like that, and these are all the things that SOLDistro is bringing in, and it's a journey that we're going through. Hence I say that this is the first step of us owning our narrative. If you feel like it's too much, you don't even know what we're doing next. You don't even want to know what we're doing next, because it's gonna be too much, So this is just the beginning of it. But another thing that's important about us, guys, I can't help myself, I love making music. Anyone that knows me and knows me better knows that I might not rap, but I might be sitting there thinking of the melodies. I get myself involved. So part of what we're doing, a lot of artists create music, and you hear the music and you see the vision. They've just thought of what the music sounds like, but they don't think of what the vision can be. And they literally come and we consult, we give advice on how they could literally approach their music. And the artist that I'm about to bring up on stage right now is an example of an artist who basically, for me, just makes incredible songs. And he had an incredible song he sent through to me, and he came and he consulted, how do we go about this, So another thing with partnering with SOLDistro is that you could always come and we can always build your music and help you, direct you with the sound, visually advise. That's literally us saying, you've now gotten into the elevator and you've gone up on the elevator and you're saying, I've done up to here, but I'm stuck here. You mustn't be downstairs still wondering whether you're getting on the elevator or not, saying, but why aren't you guys calling us? You know what I mean? So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I would love to introduce you to this gentleman called Convey. He came to the studio. So we gave him advice of what we thought as a visualizer would be dope for this song. It's not expensive. It's just time. You need to do this. And 2 weeks later, he literally came back and he did the visualizer. And when he did the visualizer, it was still not visioning very much, So we literally then I got my team to get involved. So, cause he had started and he literally took heed. We were able to kind of then continue and assist him with more stuff in that. But I cannot say that we assisted him with the music, because the music is wild, you know what I mean? So I will introduce this gentleman here, Convey. Convey, please put your hands together for Convey.
Sanbonan. I'm from Soweto. As they know, from Soweto, yeah. Yinikpela. So without any waste of time, I'm going to do a song called Soweto. We're set to drop it next month. Stay tuned for that. And more than anything, this is a song to remember where I come from and what makes Soweto what it is. Hayi labantu abala phambili bangibheke ngenye indlela.
Yeah, soldier on through the fire. Do it for the kids uninspired. Brothers that you're killing each other, but it won't stay the same. I pray I see a better you. I pray you see a better me. I pray we see a better us. Soweto, 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 kulapeng pumakona. Soweto, konegeto. Soweto, kulapeng pumakona. Soweto, 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 Soweto.
Tala ningisize nabantu base Soweto. Come on now. Okay, and 1, 2, 3, let's go.
Soweto, 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 kulapeng pumakona. Soweto, konegeto. Soweto, kulapeng pumakona. Soweto, 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 Soweto.
Thank you very much.
So we're gonna get into the panel part of the night, and I think I'll open it up to the floor if you got any questions that you'd like to ask some of the panels. So I'm gonna start by calling up with Dreams. I'll also call up TJ, Lerato, Sia, and Bruce. So they're gonna make up our panel. You know what? To make it easy, Sia, introduce us to the team. Tell us who's who.
You know, I think I just wanted to do this just for questions if there are any, you know. But just to, I mean, TJ, as you guys already like, as you've met him, he basically deals with the SOLDistro, but most of the technical stuff, you know, that's really like he's understanding of that. Bruce is not part of our team, but is a friend that's like that we always talking about like platforms. He runs like some of the platforms like SA Hip Hop Mag and everybody else and all the other platforms. Dreams' CV is wild. You probably don't know him because he's always in the background, but when they talk about the hip hop golden days, think of any artist, not our days, Leye and Zingah.
You know, me and Zingah had an argument. I said, our years are the golden. Okay. But I agree. Okay, your guys is the golden. Yeah. Yeah, if you think about the hip hop equal diabo, like you think of any big name, he's he's literally touched like the either mixing, mastering, whatever, and then but no one ever credits him or whatever. So he's that. So today we said hasn't fun so stage nane. If you look at all the videos, the SOLDistro videos, like you're going to see, we're going to drop some videos like Utrings, again. You know what I mean? But like think Ricky, think Casper, think he's literally like touched some mixing, mastering work there, and he's incredible on the sound, right? Lerato is my boss, you know, straight, you know, she's in production, and so we figured that like I'll probably run the panel and just move from there, just like talk about the importance of certain things and why this service is key, you know. So maybe I'll just start it off, you know, from a visuals perspective. Yeah. We talked about like now the fact that when we're creating visuals, whether you want your visuals to be on television, whether you just want to create proper visuals, we talked about Convey, who started these visuals, and I think the good thing that like about you is that you always want to help people that want to learn. You're always there for them. What do you think having a formal service where people can actually get their ideas and they could be shaped visually could do for the world, for guys who are getting out of after, guys who are just like nizaming a phone, you know what I mean?
For creatives that are just trying to get the ideas out there, we have created a team of, I've managed to create a team that has supported me in terms of like trying to bring ideas into life. So we're always open to collaboration. So I never say no, because I believe like there's always great ideas for us to come and explore. And there's never really a small idea, like just what Convey did. And then it was like, okay, so now how do we elevate it to show that this is what it is? So taking his idea and making it cute for TV. This is what we do. We've got our panelists, we've got IT, we've got there's a great team behind us, and that's what we do. We build off and thrive off collaboration.
It's incredible that Lerato sees this, just doesn't want to speak, but thank you for that. Great job.
Thank you.
And I think that, you know, it goes back to things like conceptualizing. When Convey came at Soweto, which we used as an example, you know, we started talking about the song, you know, and the right music makes us talk. We're like, yo, what happened to Soweto, you know? And we had this idea, never forgotten, never fallen. I'm not even from Soweto. Then, you know, when Convey started like doing the research and we started like going, oh, is he from Soweto too? And like, there's so many people who are actually from Soweto. And we're like, no, Soweto hasn't fallen off. It's just that Sowetans aren't saying they're from Soweto anymore. That's actually what's happening. So, and that's just the conversation of us just sitting there saying, what should we do for this song? You know what I mean? Dreams, you've been very involved in studio work, and obviously this service, for you as an engineer, you've dealt with like multiple people in sessions, but like having a remote service where you're able to book, you're able to then master, etc. On the real, you give me how would that be better from how you've been dealing with people that just come directly to you?
I think creatives are introverted sometimes. It creates a system where they don't have to have big personalities in order to get the experts in their different fields. So being able to just type an email, I mean, there are naturally some people who are able to just, I gotta do this. But being able to book, it creates sort of a safety net. And knowing that, you know, these guys answer within a certain amount of time. I think, for me as well, I mean, being a behind the scenes person, I like to know that once I've sent a mail, somebody's going to answer and I don't have to engage further than the email.
So basically you mean some people want to be stars, but they don't have the personality.
I think some people are artists.
some people are personalities. So we cater for both. Somebody's gonna come because they're extremely talented, but they don't wanna engage. They most of the best, some of the best artists are under a rock in a studio. I'm gonna say under a rock just as a figure of speech. But if I send an email and I know these guys are professional, and I don't have to worry about my sound, I don't have to worry about my visuals, I don't have to worry about pretending to be friends, because the industry can be very materialistic and very shallow. Knowing that I can also get advice. Once I've recorded the product, I've got people who have the experience over 20 years combined, probably I don't even know how long. So it's nice that everybody is catered for, even if you don't have the big personality, but you have the talent. So their service is important in that, from that aspect.
You know, I really respect this dude, Bruce. You know, just even to bring him here, he's like, I've told him multiple times, you know, he's really like he knows how to manage like teams from a content perspective. And similar to myself, he was once telling me that, like, yeah, then, you know, they send you a mail and they expect you to cover them, you know. That was the conversations that we have. And Bruce, you know, I know that like in your mind, you've always had a vision also of saying, of creating like what does it mean if an artist is paying for their coverage versus them going, you have to put me on? You know, what does that tell you as a publisher? You know, I mean, obviously not everybody will be seen, but you have to now do something extra to be seen. How valuable is that, and what do you think that means just for that kind of evolution in our world?
So yeah, I mean, look, the unfortunate thing is that if you're like an independent artist, you probably don't have like a PR team behind you most of the times. And realistically, I mean, many artists are just great at being artists, great at producing music. For instance, in this week alone, there's a really nice album that was dropped this week by an independent artist. And I didn't know she dropped until I just went on Insta and I randomly bumped into this album like, hey, bo, you know what I'm saying? So if you really think about it, you really need to have visibility with your music. Just posting on your Instagram is not enough. You need to be able to place your music on publications so that we know where digital publications work even better, because then people can see what you're doing. They can come back to it. So I really believe that in this day and age, many publishing companies receive, I mean, in 980 Digital Media, we receive like 150 press releases a day across different fields. So realistically speaking, we can't pay attention to every single press release, you know. We have to prioritize what we think is more important or more interesting, but that's on top of what we're already doing our own in-house projects. So I think this product, this PR package that's on SOLDistro is really important, because I think it gives artists the opportunity to stay on top of mind, really drop the music and activate media presence instantly. So that's really exciting for me, because I think a lot of artists really struggle to put the music out there. And I think what I'm learning over this 15 plus years that we've been publishing with SA Hip Hop Mag, Diano's, Youth Village, Okemzansi, and all those digital platforms, is that talent is the one part. There's a lot of really great music that's out there that no one is hearing, that no one is seeing, you know. So I'm excited about this product because I think that it's really going to help artists who are largely independent to have visibility. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think if you weren't seen in the 150 press releases, you're probably gonna pay only once. It'd be really dope, because the next time we're gonna want to cover you, put less than nothing, because you know you're that guy. You know what I mean? TJ, you and I have a lot of clashes. Besides the fact that you're a hothead and you're skr, you know.
I am not a skr, you nigga yo. I'm OG. Skr, new age. Nigga yo. Back then, Little Wayne.
I mean, what more can I say? So
no, but guys, there's a difference. Like, you know, growing up, I didn't grow up in the hood, but like growing up, they would say like, "Hey, Lil Wayne." You know, it's like now they call you Quavo, Migos. I was called Lil Wayne, so there's difference. I know I look young, but a bit of years in my career. Sorry.
You know, you gotta let the young people shine. You know, just let
Lil OG.
Yeah, that's true. You know, TJ, and the one thing that you and I constantly clash on is, I'm like, be patient with people based on the understanding of the technology, right? You're very passionate about people learning. And because you're young, young people want to teach people who don't want to learn. What age does and experience goes, okay, la, out in sugi, you know? But when you're young, you want to impose the fact that people need, and it's from a good place. Tell me, what is your passion and what really like makes you really like be so aggressive with it to a point where you end up, it becomes contentious with some people also, right? But I just want to tap into that passion. Why is it so important for you to let people be able to do them things for themselves, you know?
If I was doing an interview on TV, I'd say that's a good question. Anyway, so what it really is, right, is that he's right. I'm really passionate, and it's like I've seen this particular person do this and succeed. I've seen this particular person do this and not succeed. So when I see an artist coming up now and they not doing, or they not looking at their predecessors, I feel like I need to then help them and educate them, like, hey, you can do this and this might help you with this and this and this, you know? So then sometimes obviously that may come across as like I'm being forceful with the information or with the knowledge, but it's like what I really want to do is make sure that you succeed, because if you know how we got to point B, then it's going to be easy for you to get to point C. But if you don't know what your history is, then it becomes problematic, because I think if you're in hip hop, you should know your hip hop heritage. Like I know when I walk outside with him, like these people like my age saying, hey, can I get a picture? Or when I'm walking out with someone else, and it's like people are understanding and they know where he comes from. They know where this music or this hip hop thing comes from. POC, Squatter Camp, Tear Gas, Josie, like going forth and forth and forth. So it's like if you understand that, it helps you build a long-lasting career. That's what I believe personally.
TJ has got an urgency of people being like independent. You know, TJ has got an urgency, and it comes, some people don't understand that. Sometimes he comes across like it's aggressive. He's got an urgency, and I really applaud it, because, you know, a lot of people think that the music is complicated, but they are apps. You have to read the books. You have to like play around and see, oh, if I do this, this is what happens. If I read, the information is all there. I mean, if you want to make music, then just read about it. If your excuse for not for getting into music is because you couldn't go to school, you couldn't do this, then go listen to the podcast about how to make a music career, and let that be your school. You know, I constantly use the analogy that, like, you know, there's some people who literally like are very academic, and they go out and they literally leave work and they go study after work. Then there's some people like us who literally like are creative and are entrepreneurs, where we go to work, and after work we literally like are reading the next thing that we want to grow into, you know? So just because you never went to school, just because you never went, it doesn't mean that you don't have the hours to learn the thing that can actually make you successful. And I think that's where that's the TJ passion that I sometimes pick up, where it's like, it's almost like he's going, oh, but it's so easy. I said, just be patient with them. Just do it with them. Just go through the steps with them. But there's a passion also in that. And that's the kind of energy we have just from Lerato, like being a teacher, you know, she's a teacher. From Sandile literally like he literally wants to hear the music. Like he gets excited about sessions. He's always like, yo, it's like, me look for my foot. I'm like, nigga. But this is the energy that we have. And, you know, we're not also saying we're perfect, right? We're not also saying that we've got it all figured out. But we're definitely saying that, like, we don't think this music thing is just a business. We're actually having a lot of fun, you know. We're actually like enjoying ourselves. And we love working with people who also love working. So this is the kind of family that you look at when you deal with us from a SOLDistro perspective. And yo, we back in music once again.
Let's go. Thank you, panel. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you guys kind of understood what we're trying to do tonight. But like one thing that we just want to do before we kind of close the night, you know, so I always constantly say it, you know, I mean, this is, we don't help people to become a success. You know, we don't make people a success, but we like counsel. Yeah. And I think this relationship is an example of how one counseled an artist at the beginning or at a juncture in their career. And I just think through a conversation, that artist literally kind of saw who they want to be and what they want to become. They never literally went down and said, yeah, come down and bring the lift. This man went and he's just like, we can't even claim anything because he took ownership. But all we were a moment of clarity. We were a moment of, do you know who you are? You know, do you know what you can become? You know, and this is how we think you could do it. These are the steps. He took it and he's taken more steps than we could even give. And that's what we're talking about. We're not bringing down the elevator so we could always stay up. We bring the elevator so you could also sometimes pass us. And I think with what he's kind of done, he's already passed us, and we're going, oh, okay. Are you going to Rwanda this weekend? Okay. Steep, you know. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me so much pride. And I know everybody going to say, yeah, we're just not about hip hop though. But it does give me pride that this is an MC, you know, and he's basically like getting his second plaque tonight, you know. You know, the first plaque that he got it over 4 or 5 years as a single. And this is how he's built momentum. The second plaque he's getting, he got it over less than 8 or 9 months, you know. If you don't mind, can you please put your hands together for Touchline? You know, he's out in the house tonight. He's been a great partner for us, you know, and he's been a great partner growing with us. And he came at the beginning when we started, you know. He came at the beginning when we started. And what people don't understand about music and about like running a music business, we like artists too. You kind of do this for the passion, with the hopes that, like, you know, it's going to evolve into something. And this man is even wearing his own merch today. You know, he's going to his gram, you know. And we're going to hand him over the plaque tonight, you know, for his project. A second plaque. The homie Touchline. It's the gold EP. You good? Before I say more, too, there's another one. Another one. Yeah,
Correction. Sorry, guys. 4 years for the first plaque, 5 months for the second one. That's all I'm saying.
And that's an artist that's consistent. He never stopped pressing the button to go up and take himself out there. He literally was hungry for the growth, because one song took 4 years. And this project literally took 4 months. I think he's got more that are coming also. But this is an artist who's built himself through being consistent, through engaging his audience, and that's not things that we taught him or we showed him. All we just said, you are who you think you are. That's all we said. And we said, you being who you think you are, why don't you think of the game like this? And he channeled. And he is who he thinks he is. Merci.
TJ, really funny tonight, man. Congrats. Took you a long time, man. A lot of practice. Yeah, I can imagine. Sanbonan. Kamala Mutabo. Abanye bangazi ngo Touchline. I didn't know this was going to happen, by the way, so I'm really shocked and I'm very grateful. Yeah, Nyabonga Bafetu, thank you to SOLDistro, thank you to Slikour, most importantly, you know. I think it was 2021 and we had the meeting, and I guess we always tell the story because I was in a very strange place. I didn't know if I still wanted to make music, or I did know I want to make music, but I didn't know what to do, you know, to quite capture people. I knew that they really thought I was talented, but I didn't know how to, you know, where to go, you know. So we had the conversation, and I think from that day onwards, I felt like somebody has my back. I think I've been independent for so long, you know, to just know that I can pick up the phone and call Slicker and be like, yo, man, this is what I'm thinking. Or call TJ, or call Sipo, you know. Big round of applause for Sipo one time, please. You know, that's one person that's really patient with me, man, because, I mean, I'm all over the place with it. You know, I'm a creative, and he always listens to me, man. He's just like, yeah, I hear you, man. Okay, cool, let's do it like this. And I really appreciate it, man. Creatives need people like that, you know, because we've got so many ideas, but we don't really know how to implement them, and to have a sounding board that, you know, that's always willing to listen is always a good thing. Yeah, man, but I really, really appreciate it so much, man. SOLDistro and, you know, Slick came with the vision at that time, and they hadn't really done much in terms of a distribution point of view. And I put my trust in them, they put their trust in me, and yeah, I think this is where it is, man. So another validating thing, man, a plaque is, you know, for you always say it's vanity stats and stuff like that. Yeah, I think it is, man. I think every artist over here is so important. It doesn't really take a plaque to prove that people are listening to you. You know, I kept going without ever having to hold anything like this, you know, and I think my career is still going to be long. I'm still going to get more of these things, but it doesn't really matter to me, man. As long as I can touch people's hearts with my music, that's the most important thing. And I'm grateful for the opportunity, grateful for the voice, and I'm going to keep on going, man. No stopping me now. Shout.
Sabby, I'm gonna hand it to you. For me, I just want to thank you guys again. This is just like the launch. Our work really starts on the ground, like from next week onwards, just driving this to the people online. So share, tell a friend, SOLDistro's out there, and we're doing the damn thing. Shout out.
Shout, Slicker, shout. You know what? One package I saw that's very important is a PR package. Some of y'all niggas don't know how to sell your own song. Simple. Interviews. If I ask you, tell me about your song, you can't look at me like I must tell you about your song. It happens so many times. So I think for most artists, that PR package is very, very important. Some people come for interviews and we play your song and then we talk about your song. The reason why you're there for an interview is to promo yourself, tell the story about the song. Who did you work with? There's people who come in studio for an interview, they don't even know who was part of the song. They forget completely. Who produced the song? Small things like that. So the PR package is very, very important. So shout out to Slicker. I think as a team, collectively, when you look up all those packages, you will find a package that works for you. And I think it works for the artist, established or not established. There's some people who still feel like Minangzotropi album Jongo Beyonce is a surprise. Natsibe shocked. And nothing happens. Not in this climate. There's over 120,000 songs that drop every single day. Every single day. As we're sitting here, there's a guy uploading a song right now. He's been uploading it since the morning. Internet is a problem. But he's going to keep trying. So what makes your song special? That's it. So utilize this access that Slicker has created with his entire team. Because some of you have dope music, but you're just not putting in the work. Making a song, some people say it's the easiest part. But once you release that song, trust me, you might think it's easy for some people like myself. No, you call it community DJs. Ish, Sabby. I'm booked. You realize that the chain matters from the community guy all the way to the commercial guy, even the online station. So it matters. But if you have someone who can connect you, then it becomes a little bit easier and you can relax and focus on the creativity. Because the truth is, some people are just the talent. Facts. Some people know how to make the music. Some people know how to perform. But when it comes to the behind the scenes, that's where you lack. Here's a solution. Nah? So utilize this platform. SOLDistro, majorly independent. Ask Slicker as many questions as possible. The whole team is here. Sometimes we come to these spaces, we still leave with the same numbers we had when we arrived. You're playing yourself. There's some serious people here who can change how your next song drops in this very space. Network. And that's the thing about music. They're not going to advertise certain things about this business. You're probably not going to see Musli again. You're going to see her when she posts a picture. Ask questions. It's the truth. It's Women's Month. Here's Feifei. She has an hour that just supports women. Still, women still want to ask me, how do I get my mixes on? Oh, it's hours. Goes up. City goes, what's up? So, in this room alone, there's so many people that can assist you. Access. And sometimes people take for granted what the Slikor's been talking about. And Slikor's right. You open the door and people still want to be told to enter. Enter. Take action. It's your career. Tyler, the creator, once said it's like he doesn't understand how people spend time making songs, but you only post your song once. What do you mean? You spend so much time cooking this art for you to post it once. How, dog? Who are you playing? You're playing yourself. Here's another opportunity for you to elevate and amplify your voice and your music. There's support for Slikor, but you're not supporting Slikor, you're supporting yourself, yeah? That's the truth. We wrap it up. SOLDistro, majorly independent. All the best of luck to all the talent. All the best of luck to Slikor and the entire team. We can't wait to see what the next 5 years has in store. For myself, DJ Sabby, I have to be up in the morning to speak English again at 6. And to have another spiritual alignment for you. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you so much for coming. You truly could have been anywhere today. As cliche as it sounds, it's the truth. You're banda, but you came out to support Slikor and the entire team. So we thank you so much. SOLDistro, check out the website. It is SOLDistro.co.za. All the publications, please run us up. Put the banners over there. Let the people see the information. And yeah, thank you so much.
Broadcast live